Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat on Metro Television, coming to you live from the Akwa Wahima studios here at North Ridge in Accra. My name is Ifwa Ando, coming up in the next 60 minutes. Medical and Dental Council cautions Ghanaian medical students with online certificates from Ukraine to obtain upgrades from Ghana, else lose their recognition. Defense and Interior Ministers reiterate need for traditional leaders in conflict-torn Boko to lead the peace conversation among their subjects. In business, International Monetary Fund team in Ghana again to further assess Ghana's debt situation through the Debt Sustainability Report. Plus, at least 13 people killed and others injured after a gunman opened fire at a school in central Russia. The Registrar of the Medical and Dental Council, Dr. Divine Banyubala, says the council will not accept certificates of Ukraine-trained Ghanaian medical students who returned to Ghana following the war and have received certificates awarded to them by their university's online classes. In an interview with Metro Television News, the council says it does not recognize the certificate and the student must seek training physically or forget being inducted.
It has come to our notice, sadly, that some of these universities purport to offer medical training to our students online. Now, that is completely an unacceptable turn of events, because online medical education is not in accordance with established professional standard of training medical and dental doctors anywhere in the world. And as part of our responsibility to protect the people of Ghana, and in consonance with professional regulatory best practice, we have issued a public notice that you referred to, clearly notifying such students that any medical training program that is purportedly done online, those persons coming with those certificates will not be deemed registrable by us as a professional regulator. And we say this notice is immediate, takes immediate effect. It is not in consonance with any medical training anywhere to purport to undertake medical training online. It's not. And any student purporting to come continuing their medical education in Ukraine online, those certificates forthwith will not be registrable. So if you came from Ukraine yesterday and with a certificate to tell us that you finished your medical school there, it's not possible to do clinical medicine online. It's just simply not possible, because medicine is an apprenticeship. You do laboratory work, you do bench, we call it bench side work. You go to the ward, you clerk patients, you examine them, you go to theater, you carry that. So how are you going to tell me that you are a competent doctor and you sat at home and you did it in your bedroom online?
recent graduate from the medical school in Ukraine, and he joins us via Zoom. Hello, Abdul Rahman. You have seen this statement. Tell me what crossed your mind. What was the first thing that crossed your mind when you saw this?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I was very shocked to see that coming from a very, reputable entity like the Ghana Medical and Dental Council. It's a shock because, I mean, you've seen that, I mean, in the world today, we have an issue of war, okay? We have an issue of war, a situation where we had to rescue our students from Ukraine, and then, you know, they have to kind of go to all these neighboring countries. They have a lot of PTSDs. I mean, even some of the students have collapsed when they arrived at the airport of Ghana. And then we have also seen that in the European Union currently, this is an issue of war. Even the European Union currently have not put in measures to be able to curb, I mean, energy crisis and all that. And the masters in planning and all that are finding it difficult. And how do you expect students who have just run away from, I mean, situations of war to be able to know, I mean, what they want to do and all that? Besides, the Ghana government has organized, has tried organizing the students to come and integrate them into the system. Some students wanted to, some students went back to write their exams to try to integrate into the Ghanaian medical system. And some will also stay abroad whilst we are monitoring. Right now, there's no certainty whether, I mean, the war in Ukraine will continue to not. Besides, some of the schools are calling some of their students to come back because it's not a full-blown war, and some of the parts of the country are still ongoing and all that. So some students are actually going back, I mean, to study or to continue their studies offline. You understand? Because it's not a full-blown war. Mainly, the focus and the unrest and the concentration is in the south. You know, there are more than 30 million people currently living in Ukraine. You know, so if you just make you send a communique immediately, you want it to take effect. Now, let's look at this. Students have kind of paid their tuition fee. Students have paid tuition fee to study in a school for 1 year, and then all of a sudden you share a communique, you want it to take effect from henceforth, you know. And how do you want those students who have paid, I mean, thousands of CDs and all that, and parents and all the people who have run away from war and they have a lot of psychological trauma, how do you want them to do? And now you are even, I mean, saying their certificate is not recognized. Besides, I think that, I mean, the MDC, I mean, should carefully look at the situation very well and try to give the students at least a reasonable amount of time to make the necessary adjustment. You understand? Because, I mean, this is inhuman, you know, to just put students who have run away from war, even parents cannot sleep and all that. There's a lot of things going on. I feel like MDC have not kind of, they have not looked at the data very well. And
I can tell you're obviously not happy about this, but what do you expect government to do? Are you going to engage government? What do you expect government to do about this?
Yeah, so basically we are still having the conversation to, I mean, to put forward our plea to government and ask government to come in and then help rectify the situation. But when we are ready with our, I mean, plea and all that, we'll present to government and we'll see the way forward.
Right, but what are your colleagues saying about this?
Well, I mean, a lot of students have been very traumatized. You know, the anxiety is already there. The frustration is all there, and it's just doubling right now. Like, everybody is frustrated now. People don't know what to do. People have paid school fees already to go back to do their offline classes and all that. And now MDC has basically frustrated students even more. And sometimes you wonder if, I mean, it's really pathetic.
Right. Abdul Rahman, thank you very much indeed for your time. We very much appreciate it. We'll definitely get back to you to find out what's happening. Moving on, a high-profile government delegation has visited Bawku in the Upper East region to meet factions involved in the Bawku conflict in a bid to bring sanity to the area. The Inspector General of Police, the Interior Minister, and the Chief of Defense Staff called on the youth of both factions to dialogue for peace to prevail in Bawku.
On Tuesday, August 16, 2022, 3 persons were shot dead around the Bawku Senior High School, a situation that left residents in a state of insecurity. The protracted security situation in the town has become a national concern for fear of other unscrupulous persons getting involved to visit mayhem on unsuspecting victims. On Sunday, September 25, 2022, a government delegation led by Defense Minister Dominic Nitiu met with the Boko Naba Zuguran Asigiri Abugrago Azoka II and his elders to inform them of the need to allow peace to prevail in Boko.
I want to plead with the second in command that you and Boko Naba are the last to speak. I want to plead with you that it is for good reason why we said we don't want to talk about the chieftaincy. Because there's nothing to talk about. What are we going to talk about? If it's chieftaincy matter, what are you talking about?
Now,
Is there anything to talk about?
now,
Look, I'm asking you, is there any really thing to talk about? In your heart, seriously, is there anything, if the president comes here, the president has said A, B, C, D, the court has said A, B, is there anything to talk about? So why are you talking about chieftaincy?
The Minister of the Interior, Ambrose Derry, urged all factions to drop their weapons and seek legal redress for whatever issues they are contending with.
If anybody doesn't agree, go to court. Why are you shooting? The lives of those young boys who have died, and girls and women, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? We just started with a powerful prayer from Christian, and I'm sure if I want a Muslim to have a powerful one, let's live the life what our belief says we should do. We didn't kill anybody. Should we kill anybody? No. So I want to tell you that the shooting is a senseless exercise. Challenge me if it's not a senseless exercise.
The youth of Boko, made up of both factions at separate meetings, expressed sad sentiment that the conflict in Boko has made them jobless and made their families lose their breadwinners. They, however, pledged peace. The delegation entreated the elders to be part of the peacemaking process in order to bring their people on board.
Meanwhile, the psychiatric practitioner Dr. Philip Ufuriyen-Tumi believes the recent ritual killings in the country is to some extent a psychological issue. According to him, a society that puts more value on wealth over worth is likely to experience these kind of issues. He therefore advised that the laws deal with perpetrators of the act.
With the recent happenings, it is psychological to an extent, but it's not necessarily a condition that people are having that is leading them to doing this. So when we live in a society where people value wealth, how much people have, how many cars you drive, how many houses, how much money, right? Over the worth, the value of them, the moral, the ethics of them, then we'll continue to have a problem in our society, because then everyone wants to be as the people that are being glorified, right? It's just the way the society works. When we see something being promoted, then we want to be like that person, or we want to reach that status. And therefore, when we keep promoting people or people with wealth, which in most cases, we cannot answer for their source of wealth, then we will continue to have the problem of these things happen, because it affects us psychologically, that if this is the measure, if this is the standard, then we all have to reach it. The way forward, as mentioned, is that as a country, we have to have an agenda, which we will have to drive in consciously on a daily basis. The laws also have to be a part of it. If people commit such crimes and could get away with it to an extent, then there is no reason why I should not also do it, right? And then also, as a society, you live in a community where the behaviors of someone is questionable. We have that duty to also report it to the authorities.
Now, the Conference of Heads of Basic Schools is demanding the immediate closure of all basic schools within the Boko municipality. According to the group, the move has become necessary due to the increase in insecurity and availability of a safe means of transportation. The decision was arrived at during a meeting.
Boko has been a hotspot for violent clashes between youth groups and various ethnic groups. This has led to a lot of curfews imposed in the area. Few weeks ago, the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry reviewed a curfew imposed in Bawku and its environs to help security agencies curtail the insecurity situation in the municipality. According to the minister, the review is based on the advice of the Upper East Regional Council. The review took effect on Monday, September 5, 2022. Also, the Regional Security Council temporarily banned the operations of the Yellow transport system. This has necessitated the Conference of Heads of Schools to demand the immediate closure of basic schools. According to the group, the ban of the Yellow transport system, coupled with the ongoing insecurity crisis in the area, put pupils at a huge disadvantage, hence the call. The group has therefore appealed to the Municipal Director of the Ghana Education Service of the Bawku Municipality to, as a matter of urgency, close down all basic schools.
Now, moving away from that, level 400 students of the University of Education, Winneba, have announced a boycott of lectures in demand for the academic records to be accurately updated. Student leadership has also declared a red and black week. However, the students have rescinded their decision to continue with the demonstration as management of the university has pledged to have the matter solved. The student leadership has urged all affected students to remain peaceful in their engagement. Earlier, the University of Education, Winneba, gave stakeholders up till October 7, 2022 to settle student concerns about the cumulative grade point average. After a meeting with protesting final year students, the school assured that there will be some updates to the GPA starting from September 26. Students have been complaining that the school had not been updating their GPA records. The agitation came with the students expected to graduate in about 3 weeks. We're joined via Zoom by Central Regional Correspondent Akwesi Ado for updates on the UEW students' GPA impasse. What's the latest on this issue, Akwesi? Hello, Akwesi.
Yeah, hello.
What's the latest on this issue?
Okay, so the latest on this issue is that the student leadership of the University of Education, Winneba, that is UEW, has petitioned management of the university. And then in their petition, they have raised quite a number of issues, which has to do with the unfair change of student results. They are also saying that they have challenges during the COVID era. And so it has affected the academics, but the issues they raised has not been given attention by the university management. And now also, they have issued that deals with the research examinations for the final year students. That in which they have also considered in the petition they forwarded to the management of the university earlier this morning. Now, the petition follows a statement that was released by the university management.
Hello, Akwesi. Well, we lost Akwesi there. We'll try and get back to him. Hello, Akwesi. Hello, Akwesi Ado. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, yeah, you can continue with your student there.
Okay, so the petition that was being forwarded to the university management came after a statement that was issued by the university management earlier this morning, and treating all stakeholders to ensure that they are being able to work on the matter at hand by October 7th. Now, as of this morning, some students have started being able to visit their portals, except that when they visit their various portals, they do not find any grades being awarded to them. They say that the various courses are showing zeros on the portals. Now, the student leadership have communicated to the students to remain calm and peaceful during this period. Now, they called off a planned demonstration which was supposed to have taken place today, but have directed that their colleagues should be in red and black throughout the week. And so, amongst trying to find amicable solutions to their matter and to press on management to do so, they have also resolved not to attend lectures or boycott all lecture activities until the end of the week.
What are the specific upgrades management of UEW is embarking on beginning today?
Can you please come again?
I'm asking you what the specific upgrades are.
Specific updates?
Upgrades that management of the UEW is embarking on. The upgrades.
Okay, so the upgrade they are embarking on has to do with the student portals. According to some of the students, they had an existing portal and then it was working perfectly. And so administration decided to roll out another one, which has been giving them problems for over the years. And even though they took time to complain about the matter, management didn't give them the needed attention, which caused them to actually demonstrate on Friday and intended to continue it today until management came up with plans to have the matter resolved.
And have you interacted with students yet to know what measures have actually been effected to start rectifying their GPA concerns?
Okay, so from today, the portal has begun working, as I did indicated earlier, except that if you are able to even log on to your respective portal, students are complaining that they are not finding any grades. But on that one, the management has pledged that it would have the matter resolved in the coming days, and that by October 7, all matters will be resolved. Now, the management has also given students processes they can log on to their portals without any constraints, and that they have directed that anyone who would have any other problem should also contact the Student Health Center for the matter to be redressed.
Akwesi-Addo, keep an eye on Happiness. We'll definitely come back to you for more. Akwesi-Addo is our Central Regional Correspondent. Thank you very much. Moving on, calm has returned to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology after some individuals threatened the lives of the leadership of the University Teachers Association of Ghana at the KNUST. This was contained in a letter addressed to the Vice Chancellor's office in reaction to a statement issued by the concerned Katangese, a pressure group said to have issued such threats. The group attached to the University Hall had called out top officials of the university following the arrest of their members suspected to have been involved in a recent disturbance on campus on August 18. UTAG says although two of its affected members have security protection now, they want the school to deal with this group. Let's now speak with the University Relations Officer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Norris Bekoe, to find out how the school intends to deal with this situation. Good afternoon to you, Dr. Bekoe. Are you aware members of UTAG were threatened and sought military protection? Hello, Dr. Bekoe. We can hear you, Dr. Bekoe. Hello, Doc. Hello, Doc. Can you unmute for us? We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. My first question to you is, are you aware members of UTAG were threatened and sought military protection?
Yes, we have received a letter from the leadership of UTAG, and management is taking that seriously. In fact, the life of every staff within this university is important to us. And so we'll do all that we have to do to ensure that everyone is safe. Honestly, this university community is declared as a security zone, and we have adequate security presence on campus.
our own internal security is also on high alert, and we'll ensure that everyone is protected.
Our teachers, all right. You go ahead.
Yes, so everyone will be protected within this university community. But that is not to say that individuals or staff should not take their destiny into their own hands. Their security is very important at home, on their way to their homes, and even to work. All of us have to be alert. We know that the police is dealing with those supposed criminals who are trying to always disturb the peace of the university. And let me tell you something. A lot of these students, or these supposed faceless people, are students who have been rusticated, dismissed, and then they are hanging around. Their parents don't even know that these students have been sanctioned by the university because they provide wrong addresses, wrong phone numbers of their guardians. And so we want to seize this opportunity to inform all parents that they have to constantly check on the status of their students within the university. They should find out how their progress is going. They should demand transcripts from these students, because some of them, they are still collecting school fees from their parents, they are still collecting money from their parents, but they have been dismissed. Again, because of this, the council has taken a decision that henceforth, anyone who is dismissed or rusticated, we are going to publish the names of all those people or those persons so that their parents will get to know their status. And then if there's some remedy or measures that they have to take to support these students, that will be done. But we will make sure that we will continue to crack the whip without any fear or favor.
Right. And are the
young students who have come to school to acquire knowledge, and by these adults or people who have gone to school and they are ready to support them to become responsible adults, cannot be threatening the life of these fathers.
So do the teachers feel safe now? Are they back to the classrooms?
Oh, we know we are done with the examinations, and they are marking exams scripts. So the university community, I would say, is safe. We will continue to protect everyone, every life and property within this university. Anyone who will be found culpable, we will make sure that the police will deal with that person ruthlessly.
Right. University Relations Officer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Norris Bekoy, thank you very much for your time. You're still watching Newspeed here on Metro Television. We'll be back after this break.
When our wife and then our mothers, they get pregnant, they are going, sometimes they give birth on the road. The next demonstration will be against VRA because social amenities will have been neglected.
You're welcome back. Good to have you with us. Drivers in Akuse, Somanya, Bon, Esuchari, and Osuim, and residents in the Manya Krobo municipality of the Eastern region have taken to the street in protest in government's failure to fix the roads in the area. Passengers are left stranded as drivers operating from Somanya to Akuse to Esuchari and Osuim have parked their cars to join in the protest.
The whole thing that we are suffering, our road from Akuse to Asuchare, and then from Asuchare to Aveyime, from Asuchare to Asuchare Junction, we are suffering. We are suffering. We have several companies here that are not doing anything. We have several mines that they are also doing anything for us. We are pleading to the government. We are pleading. When our wife and then our mothers, they get pregnant, they are going, sometimes they give birth on the road.
Akuse Hospital was built in 1911, has never seen a facelift. As I speak to you now, go and see. They don't have a casualty ward. They don't have an emergency unit. They don't have places that, so they bring people from a recovery ward or the bed, and they bring emergency people on the bed. Everything has become politics, politicking everything. As it stands now, look at our road, it's manhole. And we have so many companies on Akuse. We have Seinfeld, we have Golden Exotic, we have everything VRA. The next demonstration will be against VRA. Because social amenities we have been neglected.
The next week, I'm going to block all the major roads. That means Greenco, prisons, hospitals, Akuse Township. They will not work. We will block all the major roads. The Fotoku road they are using, we are going to block it live. We promise them that we don't want violence. Akuse youth, we are not violent. You can say we are demonstrating peacefully, but the pain is mightier than the sword.
I think the bad road, the bad road of the road is affecting the community very well and the sub-communities of Asuchari. Whenever there is, let's say, pregnant women are big, we have only one facility, health facility at Akuse, which have the link to refer patients from Asuchari and neighboring villages to Akuse. The bad state of the road have caused a lot of discourages and miscarriages.
If look at the road to the bank, if we are criminals like this bank could have been robbed by this long time ago, but we are not like that. So they should come and fix the road for us. If they didn't come out, we will stop. Nobody will work. Even the bankers will not get access to their office. Period. That's what we want. They look, as I speak to you, I have 2 cars. Every 2 weeks, I have to buy Azovers, Stiarak, a whole lot. It will cost me a lot.
In 5 days, another deadline for the SIMRI registration exercise will come to an end. In a recent media engagement, the Executive Secretary for the National Identification Authority, Professor Ken Atefua, noted the impossibility to get all Ghanaians registered by the stipulated September 30 deadline, despite the introduction of a self-service app to aid the process. What then are the measures in place other than penalties for those who will be unable to register yet again? We will cross over to a registration center for last-minute registration blues. Before that, here's a recap of Professor Atefua's comments.
We have a mandate to register all Ghanaians. You have to put the emphasis on the operative word, all Ghanaians in Ghana and all Ghanaians abroad. There is no way NIA can register all Ghanaians in Ghana. If you look at our performance record, as sterling as we believe our performance is, the reality is that there is approximately some 2 million people aged from 15 years and above who have not registered for the Ghana card. Today is the 16th of September. There is no way, Jose, that NIA can register those people. It is physically and technically, fiscally impossible.
Let's turn to the video wall and see the numbers in relation to how many Ghanaians have successfully re-registered their SIM cards per records from the National Identification Authority. There you have it, Ghana card registration, re-registration statistics. Number of Ghanaians registered 17,163,081. Total number of cards printed 16,627,325. Total number of cards issued 15,869,026. Total number of foreigners enrolled on NIA register 161,076. We'll try and get our colleague Elvis, who is visiting some registration centers later, to speak with and find out from him what has been happening over there. MPP spokesperson Laura Tumusa Saka has hailed Electricham for transforming the Ada Songo Salt project, thereby creating jobs for the indigents. But communications team member of the National Democratic Congress, Beatrice Anand, said she's against the lease of the Ada Songo Salt to Electricham. She added that it was a greedy move to take away the livelihood of the community.
If I hear that someone is mining or winning sand from Daboya, I'll be equally interested because I come from that region and I'll be interested in it. But to what extent is are the people there also protecting their own interest or the interest of the collective? We need to understand some of these things because, like we all say, it's private businesses that will help augment the interventions of government. So when some of these initiatives are taken, we shouldn't just throw it out just because it's a particular person leading it. But let's really go into the merits and demerits and see how best both parties or stakeholders involved will all benefit equitably.
Normally we get the basis wrong, because when you get the buy-in of everybody, when you explain to the people that this is what we have to do, and the people get the buy-in, you are likely to succeed. Then when you bulldoze your way through, and after you face so much opposition, then you invite the media to explain what. The explanation to the media will not affect the lives of the people in any way. And for me, I have some personal sentiment towards the Songo. It was a very lovely experience. And if you go to Ada, it's one of the main sources of income for the people. So if everything is going to one company with shareholders who are probably not even residents in the town, we need to ask questions. And I think that it should be a learning point for us. It should be a learning point. You don't just take the resources, because there are factions. And you know, when it comes to ownership of even lands, there are interests. So some people can hold what in law we call the allodial title. Some people can hold the usufruct. Some people can hold the leasehold. So one land, you have about 5 different owners. And so if you want to do businesses, you need to engage all stakeholders. That's the only way you get the buy.
You're still watching News Speed. Up next is business. In business, the International Monetary Fund has reiterated that Ghana's public debt increased from 65% to 80% of the gross domestic product during the period of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ghana is poised to begin talks with domestic bondholders on restructuring of its local currency or cedi debt from today, Monday, September 26, 2022.
This is part of the nation's plan to secure a 3 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund. According to Bloomberg, the country's Eurobond extended its decline in trading. One of the key requirements from a fund program is for the nation to restructure its debt. Banks and pension funds that are among the country's biggest debt investors are preparing to engage in discussion on the debt restructuring. In an IMF frequently asked questions session, the fund said at the same time the government's fiscal efforts to preserve debt sustainability were not seen as sufficient by investors, leading to credit rating downgrade, non-resident investors' exits from the domestic bond market, and loss of access to international capital markets. These adverse developments, further exacerbated by the price and supply chain shocks from the war in Ukraine, have led to a large exchange rate depreciation, a surge in inflation, and pressure on foreign exchange reserves in the past months. In this context, the government has requested assistance from the IMF. The IMF recently disclosed that Ghana can only carry out its debt restructuring program after the World Bank and IMF complete its assessment on Ghana's debt situation through the Debt Sustainability Report. This was after it asked government to present a proposal on how it intends to restructure the country's rising debt stock. Some financial observations have warned that debt restructuring may come with some shocks on the economy going forward.
Economist Courage Buti has said the downgrade of the economy by Fitch has revealed Ghana is in dire situation. He has called for a fast-track intervention from the IMF to rescue the situation. He said this on the back of rating agency Fitch downgrading Ghana's long-term local and foreign currency issuer default ratings to CC or further junk status from the CCC.
It's really just a restatement of what we already know. I'm not sure there is anything in that Fitch report. There's several reasons they've cited: lack of access to the Eurobond market, the increasing likelihood of debt restructuring that may include local debt, and the many other reasons they cited. I think these are things we already are aware of. What it just tells us is that probably the problem of the fiscals and the problem of maybe the economic challenge we have now is probably much dire than all of us are probably taking it. I'm not preaching panic. Government is in a difficult situation, and the earlier we make progress with the IMF, the better for it, because that seemed to be the only logical backstop now for us, where with the IMF holding a hand and saying we're supporting you, we could regain some credibility and probably regain access to the international capital market. Because if we are not borrowing, the option we have is that we just do the absolutely essential stuff, pay workers, pay for goods and services that will keep state institutions running, but no real investment and capex and all of that, because already interest payment alone is consuming more than 50% of our tax revenue.
Commissioner of Insurance Dr. Justice Ofori has admonished developing countries to embrace the idea of insurance to secure their future. Dr. Ofori added that the ARDC conference being held in Ghana will seek to help developing countries bridge the insurance gap and become competitive on the global market.
It's not the popularity of insurance cannot be done through this conference. It should be done locally from the regulator and the regulated entities, that is the insurance companies, would have to be doing the right thing, sell right and pay claims right. And if something goes wrong, you need a strong regulator to come in to actually crack the whip. So it's not only the conference. This conference is more about bringing practicing firms together than the masses. There's a limit to what everybody can do. Insurance is one of the key areas of financing risk, and insurance is global. The Ghanaian insurance companies alone cannot actually insure Ghana 100%. And you don't put all your baskets in one basket. Even if we could, it's not good to actually decide to do everything locally. You need to spread your risk so that when there's a claim, it doesn't affect the economy too much. So you have other insurance companies in different jurisdictions playing part in the sharing of the risk. So when there's a claim, you call on them to pay their portion. So in that way, you don't feel the impact. So despite the fact that insurance is global, we want to have a chunk, a larger share of the premiums to stay here. We have to balance it so that one claim cannot actually cripple the economy of Ghana. So
up next is sports with Phil John Corti.
It's 48 past midday in the Ghanaian capital, Accra. My name is Phil John Corte. Match day 3 of the Ghana Premier League Super Clash between Accra Hearts of Oak and Asante Kotoko ended 1-1 at Babaya Sports Stadium. Caleb Amankwa got the needed equalizer for the Phobians. Their manager is Samuel Buedo.
But for Kotoko to score us, then I told them that they should keep composure. Now definitely we come back. We know Kotoko their strength. So definitely it's quite fortunate that we drew with them. Now the absence of them, your team so spirit echo down. But with them, I believe the subsequent matches that are not available. So they will see different House of Folk. Because this is not how I want my boys to be. But then it's rather look, you put this one into consideration. All the 3 matches that we are playing is very difficult matches. And some other we know how to move match after match. It wasn't a bad game, but though the analysis the game, no, but when you say with time, you know, gradually
J'ai vu un très bon match. Un match à un rythme très élevé.
I saw a very good match, and the rhythm of the game was very, very, very active. And in fact, I'm very impressed about today's game. Last week, we all saw the performance of the players. In fact, it was very disappointing. But today, they showed that indeed they are here for action. We still need to work more in, the finishing. You saw that we had a lot of chances, but unfortunately we couldn't use them. But we go back and work, and then so that next match when we got the opportunity, the attackers can score. We are very disappointed for them to score, but we are not discouraged. This is a league, and we have a lot of matches ahead of us. So having draw here isn't bad. It is not what we were expecting, but it has come. So we go back and work so that next matches we can get the maximum 3 points.
That's your sports. Harriet is standing by for the latest in showbiz.
Thank you, Johnny, for that update. It's now time for entertainment news. Now, legendary Ghanaian music star Charles Kwejofosu, popularly known as Daddy Lumba, has reacted to a kind gesture done him by multiple award-winning rapper Stormzy. On Saturday, September 24, 2022, Stormzy appeared on stage wearing a t-shirt with the image of Daddy Lumba hugely embossed on it. The gesture caught the attention of many who commended him, including Daddy Lumba. According to Stormzy, the gesture was to celebrate a legend he grew up listening to. Reacting to this, Daddy Lumba in a post on Facebook wrote, "I was immensely touched by Stormzy's homage to me last night at the Global Citizen Festival. I would like to take this opportunity to share my gratitude and appreciation for the public display of love. To say that the gesture was heartwarming and humbling is an understatement. Thank you very much." Some social media users also shared their thoughts on Twitter. Well, it seems American singer Rihanna is out of retiring from music, as she will be headlining the Super Bowl halftime show in February 2023. The music icon shared an image on social media on Sunday hinting that she will perform during the NFL event next year. In the photo, what appears to be Rihanna's hand holding up a football, the singer captioned the post with a single period. Rock Nation, the record label of which Rihanna is signed on, later posted the same image on its respective social media accounts, writing "Let's go" and tagging Rihanna and the NFL while adding the hashtag SBLVII. Well, that's it for entertainment news on Newsbeat. My name is Harriet Adiyefwa.
Thank you very much, Harriet. Up next is international news. In France, at least 13 people have been killed and others injured after a gunman opened fire at a school in central Russia. And that's how we end Newsbeat here on Metro Television. My name is Ifwa Ando. Have a good afternoon.